Hi everyone. Today's lesson is graphing sine and cosine function with period other than 2 pi. So period will be different value and b value won't be 1 anymore. So there was a previous video from last week which deals with easier graph. So if you haven't watched that video yet, you should watch that previous video first, then try to watch this one. So question is, graph the function y equal to sine 3 theta. So y equal to a sine bx or b theta, x or theta, that doesn't matter. Y equal to a sine b theta. They can use a variable x, theta, it does not matter. What matter is value of a, value of b. So if you look at it, y equal to sine sine 3 theta. Value of a, if you look at the coefficient of sine, value of a is nothing there, meaning it's 1. A is 1. If your coefficient of a theta, it's a 3. Value of b is 3. Okay, a being 1 means amplitude is 1. Amplitude is 1. B being 3 means it's going to affect the period. So period, you have to memorize the formula. 2 pi divided by b is formula for period. So 2 pi divided by b is 3, and we found the period. So how do we graph this? You will put the x-axis, y-axis. In this case, this is going to be theta axis. And you will need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If your graph is has a grid already, then it's gonna be easier for you. Amplitude is 1, so you start from the middle line here. Amplitude is 1, you go up by 1. That's a maximum line you can go. Down by 1. This is a minimum line you can go. It will swing between these two, maximum and minimum. And period is 2 pi over 3. You do need 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks. Because sine function has a 4 different shape. Well, sine function has 4 different intervals of shape, different shape. So it's easier for you to divide in one period by 4 different intervals. So it's going to be 2 pi third will be the label for 4th tick mark. Since we are cutting that into the 4, 1 tick mark, you need to calculate how wide 1 tick mark is. So period divided by 4. 2 pi period divided by 4. That's how you calculate 1 tick mark. Period is 2 pi over 3 divided by 4. Fraction here, numerator over denominator, means numerator divided by denominator. So that's same as 2 pi third divided by 4, which is the same as 2 pi third multiplied by reciprocal. 4 is the same as a 4 over 1. So reciprocal would be 1/4. So that will be cancel 2 numerator denominator. So the pi sixth will be your width for one tick mark. Pi sixth is the same as 1 pi sixth. Okay, so you're gonna label this here as 1 pi sixth, 2 pi sixth, 3 pi sixth. So 1 pi sixth, this is another 1 pi sixth, so you will have to do double. So it's gonna be 1 pi sixth, 2 pi sixth, 2 pi sixth. If you simplify, that's gonna be what? Pi third, 3 pi sixth, 3 pi sixth, it will be pi half. Again, if that's too much, 1 pi sixth, 2 pi sixth, 3 pi sixth, 4 pi sixth. That's this. Simplify this, simplify this, simplify this. It is a sine graph. Sine graph, you have to remember, sine graph start from the middle position. It's gonna hit the maximum, come back to middle position. It's gonna hit the minimum. It's gonna hit the back to middle position and connect them nicely with a curve. That will be graph of one cycle, one period. Of course, this graph continues here left and right, so you want to put arrow there indicating it's gonna keep going left, keep going right. So that will be all for your graphing. When you try to plot this graph on the Alex, or many teachers will ask you to give you 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. So you do want to write down the coordinates of those 5 points. So first point here is 0 comma something. This is what? Pi over 6 comma something. This is gonna be what? Pi third comma something. This is gonna be what? Pi half comma something. This point is what? 2 pi third comma something. Y value is 0 here. Y value is also 0 here. Y value is also 0 here. We hit the maximum as a Y value, that's 1. We hit the minimum as a Y value, -1. So 5 points you need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. You do need these 5 points when you try to graph in the Alex. So they try to do period and all that in degree. It's most likely you will have to deal with in radian. Okay, here's another example. So I will compare against that standard form of y equal to a sine 3 over 2x. I meant y equal to a sine bx. A, there's no number there. That means the value of a is 1, amplitude is 1. Amplitude is going to be 1. B, if you look at B, coefficient of x is 3/2 a fraction. B is 3/2. So we got the amplitude done. Having value of B, you can calculate period. So period is going to be what? 2 pi divided by B. That's how you calculate period. So 2 pi over fraction of 3 over 2. Well, fraction numerator over denominator is exactly the same as numerator divided by denominator. Numerator divided by denominator. Divide by fraction is same as multiply by reciprocal. So 2 pi times 2/3. 2 pi is the same as 2 pi over 1, so that's a numerator, denominator, there's nothing you can cancel. You just simplify, which is going to be 4 pi third. Okay, 4 pi third is a period. So how are you gonna graph this? Let's put the x-axis, y-axis, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I do need this period in fourth tick mark, so 4 pi over 3. Amplitude is 1, meaning from the middle line, maximum you go up by 1, minimum you go down by 1. So up by 1, down by 1. You do need to write down how wide the one tick mark is. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections within this one period. So you need to divide this one period by 4. I left it as a one tick mark. One tick mark, period, divided by 4. Period is 4 pi over 3 divided by 4. So again, 4 pi third divided by 4, it's the same as 4 pi over 3 times the reciprocal 1/4. Okay, 4 numerator, 4 denominator cancels out, becomes a pi third, which is same as a 1 pi third. So if this is easier, you can do 1 pi third, 2 pi third, 3 pi third, 4 pi third. 1 pi third is 1 pi third. There's nothing you can do. Pi third. 2 pi third, you cannot simplify. 2 pi third. 3 pi third is pi. 4 pi third, is same. So after you label like this, you can do sine graph. You have to start from the middle, hit the maximum, hit the middle, hit the minimum, hit the middle, and connect them nicely. Of course, this one continues to the left, continues to the right. Again, you do need the 5 points. So here x value is 0. Here x value is pi third. Here x value is 2 pi third. X value here is a pi. X value here is a 4 pi third. Y value, middle, 0, 0, 0. 0 y value, 0 y value, 0 y value. Maximum is 1 here. Minimum is -1 as a y value. So you got 5 points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. You need these 5 points to graph. Okay, there will be part 2 continuation from this point, so you do want to watch second part of the video.